Nigel the Fox, the 3,000 FOI requests and the dawn of UK's Doge. What if it was all a strategic misdirection? What if everything we thought we knew about the Farage-Musk fallout was a ruse? What if it wasn't a mistake at all, but a well-planned behind-the-scenes operation to deflect media heat from Musk and strengthen Reform UK for the upcoming election? We all remember the moment when Nigel Farage appeared to push Elon Musk away. It hit the headlines like a thunderclap. Farage rejects Musk's support over Tommy Robinson link, they said. But what if that wasn't the whole story? What if, just maybe, it was all a ruse? Which came first, the media firestorm or the Tommy denial? Let's think about it for a second. Back in early January 2025, everything seemed to take a dramatic turn. Nigel Farage, the man who knows a thing or two about political maneuvers, publicly distanced himself from Tommy Robinson. Now that's not a small thing. Robinson had been a key figure in the far-right circles, and Musk had been vocal about his support for him. The media pounced. Farage rejects Robinson, Musk supports Robinson, and suddenly it's all chaos, right? See, the timeline doesn't quite line up. Media outlets were already slamming Elon Musk, accusing him of boosting extremists, before Nigel ever opened his mouth about Tommy. So the question is, did the media attack come first? And was Farage's public distancing just the cover story? The Doge behind the curtain. But what if this was all part of a bigger picture, a play if you like? Farage, distancing himself from Tommy, might have been his way of protecting Musk, creating a schism between them so the media would get distracted. Musk, after all, was taking a huge amount of flack for his support of Robinson. If Farage took the fall, that would mean Musk could quietly step back, stop being the target, and focus on other things. What if this was planned? Picture it. Elon Musk, the ultimate tactician, Trump's right-hand man, head of America's Doge unit, Doge Department of Government Efficiency. He offers Farage help, but they both know if the media sees Elon as trying to take over the UK, it could blow back on Trump and Reform, so they create a decoy. Farage publicly cuts ties, while privately the two stay in touch. The 3,000 FOI request no one saw coming. Here's where it gets interesting. What if behind the scenes, Musk's team, remember the Doge team, was helping Farage, helping Reform UK get organised, giving them the resources they needed to actually make a dent in this election? Let's talk about those 3,000 Freedom of Information requests. Think about that for a second. 3,000, that's not just a few inquiries, that's a full-blown intelligence operation. And guess what? It worked. The data was so thorough, so damning, that it blew Labour's entire strategy out of the water. They were left scrambling. Then, boom. Reform UK files over 3,000 Freedom of Information requests. That's not amateur hour. That's not a scrappy outsider campaign. That's a highly organised digital strike. Could that have happened without help? Now consider this. While everyone was watching the public back and forth between Farage and Musk, were they missing the real story? Could it be that Farage, that old fox, was playing a longer game? Maybe the public spat wasn't a blunder at all, but part of a strategy to build something more resilient, something that would be ready for this exact moment. The Reform Party had everything in place. Farage knew exactly what he was doing.
Check one, check.
We've seen this move before. Nigel creates a distraction, even allows himself to take a personal hit, be called a fool while masterminding a silent revolution. Let the media think Musk was ousted. Let Reform look like he has become a megalomaniac. Let the BBC think they have some meat on Farage. Let them think Farage and Musk fell out. Then watch Nigel Farage and the Reform Party unleash a scorched earth data assault. The historic election results no one predicted. That May surprise election result decimated Labour, decimated Keir Starmer, decimated the Conservative Party, and created a grassroots revolution moment in history. And amazingly, it happened via the local elections. Although historically local elections are not big predictors of national elections, this was different. In some ways, the fact that these elections are not political game changers means Labour and the Conservatives were not as focused as they should have been. Neither imagined they would wake up the next morning having lost the part, and with their phones exploding with calls for their resignations. This was a sneak attack inside the side gate, while a decoy distraction had the castle guards looking the other way. This is seismic. Numbers don't lie. The Uniparty has been stabbed in the heart with a dagger held by Nigel Farage. Fox? Me thinks so, and I'm well impressed. Across the pond, why Elon needed distance, US optics, and Trump's risk.
Check, check. Check one, check two, check, check.
But the big question is, when did Musk stop talking about Farage? When did the media frenzy really fizzle out? Was it right after Farage's rejection of Robinson, or was there a deliberate silence between them as the FOI requests and the Doge team worked in the background? But why did Nigel have to execute an astute bit of political theatre to pretend he and Musk fell out? Well, right about that time, the mainstream media mantra for the past few weeks was that Elon was moving in on Trump. And in the US, Elon was under fire. They said he was running the White House, controlling Trump, too many visits to Mar-a-Lago. So the last thing he needed was to look like he was trying to take over the UK too. Musk had already challenged Starmer on his handling of the grooming scandal and rightfully called the Prime Minister complicit in the scandal. Elon had already made his views on Starmer clear and did not want to look like a kingmaker by openly siding with Farage. Musk did not need the bad press, but he wanted to help. So here is what Farage and Musk did to create the decoy distraction on the political castle. Let's track the timeline. Farage cuts ties with Robinson. Musk keeps quiet for a while. But by the time the 3,000 FOI requests start making waves, well, the media frenzy around Musk is over. Farage is off the hook, and the attention shifts elsewhere. Was this a coincidence? Or was this part of the plan all along? It wasn't a mistake, not by a long shot. The theory, Elon said, "I'll help you, but behind the scenes, I will give you my expertise to share with your experts." Or maybe Musk even helped Farage find the right team, let Farage look like he was turning down Musk. A move that made Farage look foolish and had people questioning whether Nigel could avoid being petty for power. The BBC backed off the Musk narrative once they believed that the Tommy Robinson issue was one bridge too far for Farage to accept the help of a genius like Musk. The BBC focused on Rupert Lowe Yusuf, foolishly thinking they could make a dent in the trust people have in Nigel Farage. Nigel and Musk took the heat because they were playing the long game. Meanwhile, here comes the surprise attack at dawn, the 3,000 FOI requests, placing the right candidates into the right races, the sudden electoral surge. It wasn't magic, it was a brilliant political strategy that left the opposition reeling in the face of the death of their parties. Elon's heart, well, it's British.
Check, check one, check, check.
Nigel Farage, the fox, knew exactly what he was doing. Musk's withdrawal of support wasn't a blunder, it was the opening move in a much bigger game. The media went after the drama, the supposed schism, but behind the curtain, something far more significant was happening. And why did Elon take interest in the UK, risk his political clout with Trump? Elon has always said he loves Britain. He calls it the motherland. He praises its culture, its tech roots, its history, and yes, he knows what's going on. When the Rotherham grooming scandal hit the news again, Musk tweeted, "So many people at all levels of power in the UK need to be in prison for this." And vote reform, it's the only hope. And as for those 3,000 FOI requests, that was the real game changer. Labour, caught off guard, couldn't recover. The groundwork for Reform UK's success had already been laid, and all the media could do was watch as it unfolded. In the end, maybe this wasn't about Farage and Musk at all. Maybe it was about something much bigger, something that was already in motion behind the scenes and not so easily understood. What kind of damage will these FOI requests reveal? Are we about to witness how the sausages are made at the sausage factory? What NGOs funded transsexual story time? Who are the big winners in this hidden economic smorgasbord? Are we going to be as appalled as the Americans when they learned about the level of corrupt spending in the government? This is the beginning of the big reveal for the UK, my giddy aunt. Farage the Fox, absolutely. The 3,000 FOI requests, they weren't just paperwork. They were the dawn of something new, a new wave in UK politics. And as for the Doge team, let's just say they weren't just playing around. So what do you think? Was it chaos or choreography? Leave a comment, and remember, the clever ones don't shout, they smile and strike.